So, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Craig Hooper, Senior Manager of Solutions Engineering at Treasure Data. And today you're joining us for a fireside conversation about the future of digital marketing and how customer data platforms are transforming enterprise marketing operations as we enter this cookieless world. I'm joined by Gunjan Agarwal, Senior Director of Artificial Intelligence and Marketing Science at Capgemini. As you're watching today, let us know where you're tuning in from, and do feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'll have time at the end for Q&A. A recorded version of this webinar will be available if you can't stay for the full session, and additional resources and white papers on today's topic are also available right below. Before we jump into the conversation, I'll set the stage with some background. Capgemini is a global leader in consulting, digital transformation, technology, and engineering services. With more than 50 years of success, Capgemini is at the forefront of innovation and rapidly evolving technology landscape. It enables organizations to realize their business ambitions through an array of services from strategy to operations. And Treasure Data is an enterprise software company that develops customer data platforms, more commonly known as CDPs, as you'll hear more about today. And Treasure Data empowers companies by delivering rich customer insights that drive outstanding customer experiences. We're built on a strong data management foundation, and our CDP enables brands to securely unify data across the silos at scale so they can better identify, engage, and acquire customers. Whew. Enough from our sponsors. Let's jump right into it and talk about the industry background. So customer data today powers businesses, enabling marketers to create an immersive, personalized ecosystem for its customers. And globally, people have become more aware of how their data is being used, and they're demanding greater privacy, including transparency, choice, and control of how their data is being used. And over the past couple of years, those demands are being heard. Regulations such as GDPR and CCPA, which are designed to address the importance of data protection and privacy, have been enacted in recent years to give consumers greater power, thus limiting how marketers can collect and leverage consumer data. Technology companies that own and operate prominent browsers see consumer privacy as a primary focus and have taken a proactive approach by limiting identifiers like third-party cookies and mobile IDs. So cookies serve as the identifier that underlie many brands and ad tech providers' ability to track user behavior online across websites, personalize digital ads, and measure the impact of marketing campaigns. So as an example, Google, which operates the world's most popular browser, Chrome, announced at the start of 2020 that it plans to remove third-party cookies from Chrome by 2022. So not much time remaining. And this was following Mozilla's elimination of cookies from Firefox in 2019. And then Apple last year decided to finally ban third-party cookies from Safari last March, and is rolling out a new mechanism to curb the use of in-app identifiers this year. They've already started rolling that out too. And so these emerging privacy regulations, plus the death of the cookie, represents a radical change and challenge for marketers in an entire ecosystem that has been reliant on cookies since the mid-1990s. So as we move into this cookieless future, organizations will need to leverage the right partners and deploy new systems like a CDP to help them manage consented consumer data, execute identity resolution, and help create meaningful experiences for consumers via personalization. Whew, that's a mouthful. Gunjan, I'm so happy you can join us today. Let's double click into this topic a bit more. I'm hoping you can tell us, why is the elimination of third-party cookies and similar IDs like Apple's IDFA such a big deal?
First of all, Craig, thanks for having me here. Really excited, and this particular topic, cookies, the whole cookieless world, everyone is asking about it. So I would like to go into it that first of all, what exactly are the cookies? These cookies are the text files which have the identifier, and these identifiers, based on that, help you in more targeted audience, target the audience, more personalized ads, doing the attribution, because these cookies contain the joins which help you in creating a holistic view. Now, first of all, first-party cookies are still here. Only the third-party cookies are getting impacted, and third-party cookies are going away. Because of that, the whole personalization and the holistic view, you'll not have it. And the organizations who are not able to adapt to this change in time will lose the ability to target based on the consumer activities. It will lead to the reduced conversion rate. It can impact the sales and revenue. The whole effectiveness of the marketing campaign can't be measured properly. So these are the reasons why I would say it's a big deal, and we have to really consider that how the new MarTech ecosystem looks like for your organization once these third-party cookies will go away.
That's such a great point. And when we factor in things like the GDPR, CCPA, and now CPRA that's coming out this year in California amongst the other global privacy initiatives, how do you think the death of the third-party cookie plus GDPR, CCPA, to the 10th degree, right, affect how organizations create digital experiences for their consumers and customers alike?
Yeah, GDPR is more about how do you collect the data, process the consumer personal information, and CCPA is more related to how to share the consumer data with partners and third party. Now, the third party cookies, as I said, help in identifying the consumer across the organization on channels, plus as well as the third party websites. Now, if you look at the combination of these, the GDPR, the CCPA, and third party cookies going away, all these activities actually going to limit the organization, their ability to collect, consume, and utilize the consumer data for various purposes, which is very essential in creating the excellent digital experiences for these audiences, for the consumers. Now, this whole combination is definitely going to impact.
Wow, that's quite the impact. Thanks for sharing that insight. So it sounds like privacy, trust, and identity are table stakes for creating digital experiences, and organizations certainly face a dilemma, right? Their appetite for data has not lessened in the face of these privacy regulations, and the death of the third-party cookie creates a huge identity gap. So, you know, when we think about the various approaches that an organization can take, right, with this void in identity that's caused by the death of the third-party cookie, there's a myriad of them that are being talked about in the industry. So Gunjan, can you maybe shed some light on some of those approaches that are being talked about, and and you know, where you see your clients really honing in on?
Craig, first of all, very good question, because what exactly the solution is everyone is looking for when the third-party cookie is going away. I feel that there are multiple solutions and approaches which comes together to solve this problem. First of all, I feel that there are many new partnerships are going to emerge for the identity and the data fabric. How do you do the identity resolution? And the whole the data fabric consists of the customer data, and creating an action on it. The whole data fabric partnerships are going to change. Second, I would like to emphasize that the smart TVs and the mobile device apps, they don't rely much on the third-party cookies, and they are going to be the new advertising marketplace. Their data is going to help in improving the identities, and they become, as I said, the new advertising marketplaces. Third, I feel that the graph IDs are going to be a good replacement to this third-party cookie. The graph technology help you in creating that customer information, the whole customer 360. The most important is the rise of customer data platform, the CDPs. The CDPs, which with the integrated identity resolution solution, even if the CDPs have their own or they do partnerships with customer identification networks like LiveRamp ATS, Authenticated Traffic Solution, Neustar, and many more. With that combination and having a persistent IDs, that are going to be very, very, very powerful. The organization, their customer data strategy, they will have it more centralized manner with the foundation of the CDP system. So this particular customer data platform is definitely going to improve how you do the future high velocity campaigns. The DMP's future is still, we are in a wait and watch mode. Maybe the DMPs might fold into the CDPs. So we have to see that what the various vendors are going to, product companies are going to announce about it. The last, contextual targeting. It has been happening from long, and it will pick up now, because in the contextual targeting, we don't do it at a user level. We do more at the level the content users are consuming. So that can pick up more now and more for the personalized advertisement. So I feel that the combination of all these pieces are going to create a more robust, more future-proof marketing ecosystem.
Wow, that's a lot of solutions to choose from that are out there. And I think you put it so succinctly that a CDP acts as packaged software and has all of those capabilities built into, one single platform that teams, and by teams I mean sales, marketing, and technology teams, can all use to leverage these tools that they need to succeed, right, in this cookieless world. One thing I just wanted to add on, since you made such a great point about contextual targeting, I think that's really where the power of machine learning can come in as well, right? Yeah. So CDPs like Treasure Data natively support the use of machine learning models, right, to auto-discover and segment or suggest segments, right, and score potential customers based on predictive analytics and propensity modeling. So, CDPs will crunch all this data that you're bringing in across these different sources and destinations, and then automatically add data points, right, to these people profiles, such as next best product, channel, time, even sometimes predicted lifetime value, and content affinity and interest words. And so these data points are extremely helpful in fueling, right, contextual targeting at a much higher level. And it's to the point where when a brand or a publisher or really any organization has a net new user coming to their site, and as long as they're using a CDP, right, the CDP can start to defer interest and segment users in real time, and then make recommendations on content, products to aid in personalization. You also bring up a great point about identity resolution. So we also think about, taking a first-party approach to data as we move into this cookieless world. And CDPs and also identity resolution providers, from what I hear, most of them are deterministic, meaning they use known data. So someone comes to a website, they log in, you have the cookie, you have the email, and that's really the bond that we have. One thing I think people are wondering about is, if I'm an organization and I don't have a lot of data, or it's finite in nature, can they use probabilistic methodology on top of that to help them scale for things like measurement or audience targeting too?
Yes, definitely. First of all, I believe that the organizations all organizations are sitting on the first party data set, either structured, unstructured, streaming data. With that data processing, the whole data management has to be done first. Okay, and then, as you said, that more different type of the way you do the matching. Probabilistic matching is one of the way where we are exploring more, and that's where the data science techniques are helping, that how you can be more accurate in doing that. So definitely, I believe that customer organizations should look into all this possible thing. They have to go through an assessment route. They have to understand that what level are they in, what exactly, where, what the dependency they have currently on the third-party cookies, what type of first-party data set they have. All organizations are not at the same level. Their use cases are different. Their business cases are different. So they first have to, I would say, step back, understand their current marketing technologies they are having, understand what type of data sets they have, and what type of enablement they want to do on it, what type of vision and the goals they are having. So doing that thorough assessment, then it is going to help you that what particular solution to pick and choose and where exactly it fits.
I think that's a great point. And depending on the solution they pick, it sounds like an organization would want to be open and flexible in order to interact with all of those different identity solution providers you were mentioning, the likes of LiveRamp, Neustar, especially for their identity solutions that can act as a supplemental layer on top of the CDP. Really, it's just the cherry on top of the sundae when you think about it. And so it sounds like you want a CDP that's open, flexible, and also has a robust partner ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we've set the stage, right, on, we've actually been a little pessimistic talking about this cookie apocalypse. And I know I certainly get cranky when I don't get my cookie for dessert. But when we think about this change that's coming, what positive opportunities do you see the elimination of third-party cookies creating for digital marketers and for your clients?
Marketers are actually going to have now more control, because they are relying on the first party data which is with them. They are going to have now look at the whole marketing with a 360 degree. not just in the silos. There are going to be the rise of new different data sets, the third-party data set. Many solutions, what we design and innovate in Capgemini, are actually based on the third-party data set, using it in a very effective manner and augmenting the customer personas. The new partnership, as I said, the marketeers are going to set those new partnerships and look at, have the things in more from a data science angle. The AI machine learning techniques for audience targeting are going to pick up. Okay. Plus, what I see the most positive thing is that they will get the trust, the whole trust from their clients, from the consent management, from how they track the customer data, how they store the customer data. Everything is going to be very transparent. And over the few months, I have seen a lot of issues. What the consumers are facing is that they're worried how their data is being collected. They are losing the trust from the organization. These new third-party cookies which are going away, I feel that in that way the end customer feel more confident and will be more loyal towards that organization, which are going to step up fast in manner and show more transparency in the system. The next positive outcome I'm going to see is that the alignment from the leadership to invest more in the CDP type of a system, more in the identity resolution solution, and creating a completely modern customer data driven technology ecosystem. The another opportunity I have seen is that now the quality of leads going to improve, because the data sets you are not based on the third party cookies. There will be a better marketing ROI, the better conversions, and you are not focused on just unknown customers. You are also focused on cross sell, upsell. Many new opportunities will appear. I don't just look at the cookies are going away. Don't get worried. It has opened up some more positive way of thinking, doing the marketing, and look at from a very base technology foundation perspective, the business goal perspective. And I'm sure the organization will feel that it is keeping the customer centricity. The whole new technologies are going to change, but it is going to be very impactful.
I think that's great to know, right? So all this drama that we talk about, this cookie apocalypse, it sounds like from some of the examples you gave that third-party data can still be used, right, to create meaningful digital experiences for consumers, for customers as well. And you know, one not like really great nugget of information that I picked up on you saying is that, you know, an organization's data strategy is only as good as their ability to capture and manage consented data across the full organization, right? So aligning leadership from sales, marketing, and technology teams to really create that unified view and to leverage that data, I really think is key moving forward, and something that we advise our clients on, you know, day in and day out, not only clients, but prospects too. And so I'm really curious to understand from a Capgemini's perspective, what are some of the clients that you're working with? Do they tend to be early in their basis of digital transformation, tackling this cookieless issue, or are they further along, coming to you with more refined solutions, wanting to work with you to really iron them out from a strategy and technology perspective?
Not all the customers are at the same level. First of all, understand that Firefox and Safari has announced, but the Chrome has not, or I would say they have not fully announced. So Chrome consists of the bigger pie. So the impact what the organizations are going to face when Chrome is going to announce, which is likely to be in 2021. So that's where the organizations, some of the organizations have not started preparing for it, but some organizations are being very proactive and we are reaching out to them. What we are doing is we are doing the assessment for our clients to understand how much dependency they have currently on the third-party cookies, how they are currently utilizing the first-party data sets. As I said, the first-party data can be structured, unstructured. If you have unstructured data, how do you identify the intent of the customer from that? It requires a lot of transformation before you feed it into the CDP type of a system. So we are helping the customer in that journey from from doing the assessment, from ideation, identifying the use cases, what the MVP version looks like, and how to scale up the CDPs for them. Now, having said that, the identity resolution solutions are also part and parcel of it. CDP vendors like Treasure Data, who are our partner, they have the identity resolution inbuilt, and you also have the partnership with LiveRamp, Newstar, like that, which actually help us in creating a customer 360. Now, the positive outcome is that customer 360 is, once you create it, is not just limited to only the marketing solutions. You can actually use it for enterprise-wide use cases. And that is where we are redefining and helping the organization to look at the now customer-centric, their whole complete data management in a very different angle. So as I said, the organizations are not at the same level. We are bringing them, we are doing a lot of webinars for them and making them understand that what is the impact for them, for their business, once the cookieless, the third-party cookies will go away.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you just mentioned, that even though today's discussion is focused on marketers and organizations, as we talk about the death of third-party cookies, the technology and data strategies that we're talking about today extend beyond marketing teams and organizations that advertise, right? It also touches on service and support of an organization. So imagine having that 360-degree view of a consumer based on their purchases, right? They call into a call center with a question about their item. It could be where their order is at, or if they want to send it in for a quick repair, something like a sports apparel, right, which tend to get worn down over years. That customer service rep can then instantly pull up the profile, see what the user's been searching on their site, because it's connecting that phone number to a cookie based on the consented information they've put in. And that call rep can then get an idea of who this person is, why they're calling in, and that chain can continue, right? Based on if the consumer calls in again, and also allows another rep, maybe in a different time zone, to follow up, since they have that single centralized point of view. And it's great because CDPs, right, enable this flow of information to occur in real time to ensure that the latest information is getting to these support reps and these different diverse teams.
Yeah.
And so, I think we're almost coming up with time. I think I have time for one more official question, and then we can take some questions from our audiences. Given all the work that you've done, do you think it's too late for organizations that haven't, started thinking about their data strategy or looking at different technology providers to get started?
No, I don't think so. It's still the right time where the organization should actually look at that what are the new tools tech like CDPs are going to be as part of their ecosystem. And I wanted to emphasize one point which you have raised, is that how the CDPs are going beyond the use cases of the marketing and the sales. And as you said, the beauty of the CDP platform is that it not only creates the customer 360, having those machine learning engines, machine learning decision engines running on there, but the whole complete orchestration and activation was missing. And it is not just based on the third-party cookies. That orchestration activation in the real term was missing much before that, even though if the cookieless world is not what we were talking about. Connecting on the contact center, how the agent knows what to offer and what the customer is about, what they are talking about. The CDPs fill that gap. The CDPs fill that gap by bringing what the decision you have taken in the real time. You can actually activate on multiple channels, not just on your website, not just on your sending an SMS or the email. It can even done on, as you said, in the contact center. So centralizing the customer data is very, very important to provide a consistent customer experience, to increase the conversions and increase the data trust. So doing these activities, there is never a late time. Organization can start now. As I said, in Capgemini, we are helping the customers from the ideation, designing their future MarTech strategy, implementation of the CDP platforms, how the various current products they have, the marketing clouds they are having, how we can stitch it all together to enable the various customer journeys based on their personas. That is all what we enable, and it's the right time to take a decision to do the thorough assessment of your complete tool stack, what you have, the way you collect the data, and take action on it.
And we at Treasure Data certainly, appreciate working alongside Capgemini to facilitate that from a technology perspective. Wow, what a great discussion. I'm just taking a look at some of the questions that have come in from our attendees all over the world and across the industry. And there are some great ones that have come in and been prioritized by some of the internal staff behind the scenes. So just reading through Gunjan, why do you think Treasure Data is a good fit for the cookieless world?
Craig, as I said, the Treasure Data has all the right building blocks which are required in the cookieless world. If you look at the identity resolution, the way Treasure Data stitch together the first party, third party data sets, the consent management piece of it, and how it orchestrate and activate to enable personalization, to audience targeting, the way do audience suppression, these all are the building blocks which are must to have in the cookieless world. And I feel that the Treasure Data is very good fit there.
Thanks. I'll also add on that it's not only the underlying technology that we provide, but our people, have helped us win multiple clients, multiple prospects over because of our strength from a strategy perspective, in addition to aligning with an organization's cultural fit. There have also been some questions coming in asking for tangible examples of how a CDP like Treasure Data has helped circumvent, the use of third-party cookies for some existing clients. So I'm happy to share a quick use case. So at Treasure Data, one of the biggest successes that we've seen is with AB InBev, right, or ABI for short. They're the largest beer company in the world with 500 plus brands, and they use Treasure Data to centralize, unify, and govern its consumer data. So when you think about ABI, it's a humongous CPG company, and one of their biggest challenges is connecting directly with consumers. And so they've had this historical reliance on third-party cookies that's resulted in a disjointed view of consumers and customers. And also they've been sending customers and consumers 2 to 3 different messages coming from different brands. And they really haven't been aware of this. And so that consumers would see these messages from the different brands as spammy, causing a drop in brand affinity. So ABI worked with Treasure Data to really double down on first-party data via their creation of loyalty programs, going direct to consumer via channels. And when they initially came to us, they came to us with this tidal wave of data from first, second, and third-party data sources. And so we helped ABI centralize, govern, and unify, and also, most importantly, deduplicate their data into a single source of truth. And the result, AB InBev was able to orchestrate consumer journeys, personalize messages, optimize experiences, and better engage with consumers by having a single view of customers built on the back of first-party data with less reliance on third-party cookies. So essentially helping them future-proof their solution as we move into this new wave, especially as 2022 comes closer every day. What else do we have on the list? This is an interesting one. So the definition of CDP seems to vary by vendor. For CDPs, what can customers expect from Customer 360? Can a CDP only ingest first-party data, or can we also incorporate second and third-party data? Gunjan, what are your thoughts?
Definitely, Craig. The CDPs can enable that first-party, second-party, and third-party data set. In fact, in Capgemini, we have designed the data exchange to augment the customer profile using the third-party data set, and we have already stitched together with the CDPs so that it gives a more holistic view of the customer. And the second part of this question is that how the definition of CDP seems to vary by vendor to vendor. Yes, it's very important that we do the assessment that what is the business case and which CDP is fit for you. Some of the CDPs are mainly on the journey orchestration, or some are mainly on the how they stitch together the data. So we need to understand what is required, what are all the minimum viable building blocks are required to make that CDP for your organization. And that is where companies like Capgemini, we help our clients in doing the thorough assessment and then pick up with maybe some POCs that what is the right CDP for you. But definitely in the market, most of the CDPs I've seen, their definitions are very, very different. The way they have been built are very different.
That's a great point. And I'll just add that, everything we've talked about today, Treasure Data is able to help with. And one point of view I'll add when we talk about Customer 360 is that as you're fleshing out those use cases and strategy that Gunjan was talking about, you should really be asking, what insights do I need to succeed? And you want to work with a CDP like Treasure Data that can help deliver those insights on top of the first, second, and third-party data that you're bringing into this 360-degree view. So in collaboration with your technology teams, the CDP should be layering on additional insight. So things like prescriptive attributes. What is a predicted lifetime value? What is the next best content or product, article to engage a consumer with? Right? What's the best time of day? What's the best channel? But really, when you think about 360, the CDP should also be able to action on all those granular attributes at the individual profile level in aggregate, right? To take action and segment that data in real time. We also have another question coming in. So Google and Facebook are already transitioning to first-party cookies. Given the fact that the bulk of marketing spend is on them, how should customers and clients really worry about the death of the third-party cookie? Gunjan, do you want to take a stab at this?
Yeah, Craig, we already discussed that there's nothing much to worry about the death of the third-party cookie. There are definitely alternate approach, but what is required, that organization should take a step now. They should really do that thorough assessment of their ecosystem, understand that what is the impact on and what is the right alternate technology for them when the third-party cookies don't exist. So in summary, it's nothing to worry about. It's just about taking the right action at the right time.
Yeah, I agreed. And, I would say that marketers are not charitable organizations. They will go where they see the highest ROI. And so if that means establishing second-party partnerships with a publisher that has robust first-party data, they'll certainly start to do that more often. And it's also going to still be determined as Google releases their new privacy sandbox. So I think we still have some time before we have an idea of how marketing budgets are going to shift in this new cookieless world that we've been talking about. And I think we're out of time. And so I just wanted to thank everyone for joining today's webinar. And Gunjan, a special thank you to yourself and Capgemini for participating and joining us today. And for folks that may have missed the first few minutes of our webinar, a recording of this webinar is available on demand via BreakTalk. So just come back, a couple hours after this webinar, and you should see a link to the video. And you can also learn more about Treasure Data, Capgemini, and the role CDPs play in this cookieless world in the BreakTalk attachment sections of your screen down below. And so if you'd like to get in touch with either Gunjan or myself, please reach out on LinkedIn or via email. Our contact information is up on the slide. And so thank you, everyone, once again, and have a great day.